Hey, what's up, guys? I got a quick review for a movie I just checked out last night called Overlord, and I gotta say, this is one of my top movies of 2018 easily. It's definitely the funnest movie I've seen this year so far, or well, the year's over, so it's definitely one of the funnest movies I've seen of the whole entire year. It's just a blast through and through, from the beginning credits to the end credits. I mean, I throughout the movie, I was just sitting there thinking, there's like literally not like 5 minutes in this where I find it boring. I've seen some reviews where people say like there's not many locations, and people say they were a little bored in the middle of it. I don't see it, just because there was always something happening to like further the story or further the tension, and it was just, I didn't find it boring at all. I thought it was like the most engaging, just fun movie through and through. But essentially, it starts off with kind of like Dunkirk or something. Like, there's these paratroopers and they're gearing up to put explosives on this radio tower or something that Hitler has, and that's their mission. And they start getting shot out of the sky, and they got to make an emergency jump, and they end up jumping from the plane, and they're in France, and the Nazis are hanging American soldiers up by the trees, and basically just shooting all these American soldiers down and stuff. And it's and then they're the remaining survivors of this paratrooper team. They're going in, and they basically got to still conduct their mission of putting these explosives on this tower. And they end up running into this girl, and in Germany, she doesn't like the Germans either, because it was basically war torn, and they're forced to do whatever the Nazis want. So she's helping these American soldiers, and the Nazis are doing experiments on people and stuff, and locals of the village, and the paratroopers end up finding that out. And so that's the general plot, without really, it's just a basic plot. But I thought the acting was really good. The black dude who's the main guy, I've seen him before. I don't know exactly who he is, though. I guess I could have looked that up. But Kurt Russell's son plays like the badass soldier in this, and he does a pretty good job. I mean, he sounds a lot like Kurt Russell, and you kind of believe him as a badass, or well, at least I did. So, I liked his role a lot too. The other soldiers were kind of take him or leave him, because they're just kind of there. They don't really add a whole lot. But the main two are the main black guy and Kurt Russell's son, and this German girl. She's likable too. But yeah, the villain, he was a good villain. I mean, you pretty much hate him because he pretty much rapes the German girl and all that. But it's typical villain fare. But where this really shines is just the atmosphere, just the fun of it. Just, to me, it was fast paced. It's the most fast paced movie I've seen in a while. And even the credits, like the opening title card, when it comes up, it's kind of like real old school grindhouse looking. And that's what this movie feels like a lot. Like, this is like a grindhouse film. Like, I'm willing to bet money this was one of Quentin Tarantino's favorite movies of this year, and Robert Rodriguez. It just has a really over-the-top, like, no fucks given action atmosphere to it, and the gore was cool, the action was cool, the acting was over the top and cool, the atmosphere was beautiful. There were some really beautiful shots, especially like the people hanging in the trees and stuff. There's just some really beautiful shots in it. Now, as far as the 4K picture goes, it's a really dark movie, so it's something you don't have to pick up in 4K. I'm sure the Blu-ray looks just as good. But the sound was amazing. I feel like if you're going to get the 4K, just get it for the sound. The cover, I think, is a lot better than the Blu-ray release, but, I mean, a lot of people probably don't care about that. But, yeah, that's my quick review of Overlord. I definitely recommend checking this out, whether that's buying it or renting it on Redbox or whatever. It's a super fun movie, and I'd even go as far as to say it's like the sleeper hit of 2018, just because I didn't really hear anybody talking about it. I didn't see really any love for it. I don't think really many people saw it, which is a shame, because it's a really fun movie. It's basically like Inglourious Bastards without the political stuff, just nonstop action and Reanimator zombie-like gore. So yeah, that's Overlord. Anyways, guys, peace.